Have you ever wondered why one woman slowly disappears while another quietly becomes part of your life without ever saying how she feels? Here's something surprising. When a woman is emotionally choosing someone, she rarely announces it. There are no dramatic speeches, no obvious confessions. Instead, her feelings appear in small, almost invisible behaviors, and most men completely miss them. Today, we're uncovering 5 silent psychological signs that reveal she's emotionally choosing you even before she says it out loud. Stay until the end, because the 5th sign is the one almost nobody notices, yet psychologists often associate it with the deepest level of emotional attachment. Let's begin. Movies teach us that love is loud. Grand gestures, big confessions, perfect timing. Real life, it's usually much quieter. Human emotions develop gradually, especially emotional trust. For many women, choosing someone emotionally isn't a single decision. It's a process. Every positive interaction, every moment of comfort, every experience of safety adds another brick to that emotional connection. That's why the strongest signs aren't always romantic. They're psychological, they're subtle. And once you understand them, you'll start noticing them everywhere. Let's look at the first sign. Sign 1, she naturally includes you in her future thoughts. Here's an interesting question. Has she ever casually mentioned something happening months from now and naturally included you? Maybe she says, "We should visit that place someday," or "You'd probably enjoy this concert next winter." Notice something? She's not asking for a commitment. She's simply imagining you in her future. Psychologically, this is significant. Our brains automatically picture the people who feel emotionally important. It's rarely intentional. It simply happens. Imagine this. You're talking over coffee. She suddenly says, "Dal, when I finally learn cooking properly, you'll have to taste my recipes." It sounds small, almost meaningless, but emotionally, it's not. Her mind is already creating future memories with you. And here's the important part. She isn't forcing these conversations. They appear naturally. People don't mentally place strangers into future situations. They place emotionally meaningful people there. That's one of the earliest signs she's quietly choosing you, not with words, but with imagination. Sign 2, she feels comfortable, showing imperfection. At the beginning of most relationships, everyone tries to look their best. Perfect clothes, perfect replies, perfect behavior. But something changes when emotional trust grows. The mask slowly disappears. She laughs louder. She admits embarrassing stories. She shares mistakes. She stops worrying about appearing perfect. Why? Because emotional safety reduces psychological pressure. Think about it. Around people who judge us, we become careful. Around people who accept us, we become ourselves. Imagine she sends you a picture after a long day. No makeup, messy hair, big smile. She's not trying to impress you, she's comfortable. Or maybe she accidentally says something awkward, then laughs instead of panicking. That comfort isn't accidental, it's emotional security. And emotional security often comes before romantic certainty. When someone believes they can safely be imperfect around you, they're already giving you something valuable. Trust. Sign 3, she starts protecting your emotional well-being. Here's something many men overlook. When a woman emotionally chooses someone, she often becomes surprisingly aware of his feelings. Not because she has to, because she wants to. She notices when you're unusually quiet. She remembers stressful days. She checks in after difficult situations. Maybe she says, "How did your meeting go?" Even though you mentioned it only once. Or she notices your mood before you even explain it. This isn't mind reading, it's emotional attention. Psychologists often describe this as emotional investment. Our brains naturally monitor the emotional state of people we genuinely care about. Think about close friends, family, loved ones. You automatically notice when something feels different. The same process happens here. She's quietly paying attention, not to control you, not to fix you, simply because your emotional world has started mattering to her. And that's a powerful shift, because people invest attention where their hearts are investing emotion. Before we continue, have you already recognized one of these signs? Or maybe you've experienced something completely different? Let me know in the comments. Your story might help someone else understand their own situation. Now, the next sign is where emotional attraction becomes much deeper, because this isn't about conversation anymore. It's about trust. Sign 4, she shares parts of herself that most people never see. Everyone has public stories and private stories. Public stories are easy, where she works, her favorite food, her hobbies. Private stories are different, they're emotional. Maybe she talks about childhood memories, old disappointments, dreams she rarely tells anyone, or fears she usually hides behind confidence. Why does this matter? Because vulnerability isn't random, it's selective. Psychology suggests that people reveal deeper parts of themselves only when they believe the other person will protect that information instead of judging it. Imagine this: you're walking together, the conversation becomes quiet, then unexpectedly, she says, "I've never really told anyone this before." That sentence alone changes everything. She's giving you access to a part of her emotional world that very few people see. Not because she wants sympathy, but because she trusts you. And trust is one of the strongest foundations of emotional choosing. Remember, real intimacy isn't built through perfect conversations, it's built through honest ones. Sign 5, she begins matching your emotional rhythm. Now we've reached the sign that almost everyone misses. Human beings naturally mirror people they feel emotionally connected to. Not on purpose, subconsciously. Maybe your conversations become calmer. She starts using similar expressions. She laughs at the same moments. Your pauses feel comfortable instead of awkward. Your conversations flow without effort. Psychologists call this emotional synchrony. It's when two people gradually begin adapting to each other's emotional pace. Imagine you're naturally relaxed. You don't rush conversations. You enjoy silence. Over time, she starts slowing down too. Not because she's pretending, because emotional connection creates unconscious adaptation. Or maybe you're someone who enjoys deep discussions. At first, she keeps things surface level. Months later, she's bringing thoughtful topics into every conversation. That's not coincidence. That's emotional alignment. When someone starts matching your emotional rhythm, they're no longer interacting with you from a distance. They're emotionally meeting you where you are. And that's one of the quietest signs that you're becoming emotionally significant in her life. The bigger psychological picture. Now let's connect everything. Notice something interesting? None of these signs involve dramatic romance. No expensive gifts, no movie-style confessions, no constant texting. Because emotional choosing isn't built through intensity, it's built through consistency. Every conversation, every shared laugh, every moment of safety, every small act of trust. These tiny experiences slowly teach the brain something important. This person feels emotionally safe, and safety creates connection. Connection creates trust. Trust creates emotional attachment. This is why healthy relationships rarely happen overnight. They grow quietly, like a tree, day by day, almost invisible, until one day, you realize something beautiful has been growing all along. But here's an important reminder. No single behavior can guarantee someone's feelings. People are different. Personalities are different. Cultures are different. That's why it's always better to notice patterns rather than isolated moments. One sign means very little. Several consistent signs over time tell a much clearer story. Patience matters. Respect matters. Healthy communication matters. Real emotional connection isn't about decoding every tiny action. It's about creating an environment where trust naturally grows. Ironically, the less you try to force someone's feelings, the more authentic those feelings become. So, let's quickly recap. If a woman is emotionally choosing you, she may quietly include you in her future. She'll feel safe enough to stop pretending to be perfect. She'll begin caring about your emotional well-being. She'll trust you with deeper parts of herself. And eventually, she'll naturally begin matching your emotional rhythm. None of these signs are loud. That's exactly why they're so powerful. Because emotions often whisper long before they speak. The strongest relationships aren't built on dramatic moments. They're built on countless quiet ones, the kind most people never notice. Now that you know these signs, you'll begin seeing emotional connection in a completely different way. Not through words alone, but through consistent human behavior. And sometimes, the quietest actions reveal the loudest feelings. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new about female psychology, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our upcoming psychology videos. Also, tell us in the comments, which of these 5 silent signs surprised you the most? Or have you ever experienced one of them in real life? If this video helped you better understand emotional connection, give it a like and share it with someone who might find it valuable. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.